Okay, let's unpack this. Because, think about the phone in your pocket right now.
Right.
Chances are it's, what, less than 3 or 4 years old? And when a new model drops, with a better camera or a faster processor or just like a battery that actually survives past lunchtime, we don't even think twice about upgrading.
No, we just do it.
Yeah,
It's
so
completely normalized.
exactly. We just readily accept that our hardware has to evolve to keep up with the software of our lives.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But then, and this is what's so wild to me, when it comes to the absolute most expensive, most consequential purchase we will ever make, the literal physical shelter we live in, we suddenly just abandon that logic entirely.
We really do. We throw it right out the window.
We do. We are somehow perfectly willing to spend an absolute fortune on a house built for a completely bygone era.
So today on the deep dive, we're looking at this massive behavioral shift in the real estate market.
And it is a massive shift. It really is. We are pulling from a fascinating analysis today titled The Evolution of Living, Choosing Tomorrow's Home Today. And our mission here is to figure out why buyers are finally hitting a breaking point, passing on older resale homes and migrating heavily toward brand new construction instead.
Yeah, and it's a profound shift in consumer psychology.
Yeah.
We're watching this very distinct migration away from what the source calls yesterday's homes toward tomorrow's homes.
Yesterday's versus tomorrow's. I like that framing.
Right. But to really understand this, we have to look past the superficial aesthetics. This is not a conversation about granite countertops versus quartz or carpet versus hardwood.
Because anybody can just go update a kitchen.
Exactly. Anyone can do that.
Yeah.
This is about a fundamental structural difference in how a home actually functions on a daily basis. So today we're exploring not just what these new homes look like, but why this migration is happening and the underlying mechanics of why it matters so deeply for the modern lifestyle you are trying to lead.
And to really, wrap our heads around this shift, we need to define what exactly makes a house a tomorrow's home in the first place.
Right. We need to establish that baseline.
Yeah, and there's this brilliant comparison in the source material that maps the evolution of housing directly to the evolution of televisions and cell phones.
Oh, that's such a great analogy.
It really clicked for me. Like, think about the television you had growing up. It was probably this giant, heavy tube taking up half the living room space.
Oh, yeah, weighing like 200 pounds.
Yes. And it did exactly one thing, right? It just passively played whatever broadcast signal it managed to receive.
If the antenna was angled perfectly.
Right. But contrast that with what you have now. You have a smart TV.
Yeah.
It's paper thin. It connects to your Wi-Fi. It streams 1,000 different apps. It acts as a digital art canvas when you're not watching it.
It integrates with your sound system, your phone.
Exactly. We moved from a single function static box to this dynamic integrated digital hub.
And the leap from basic cell phones to smartphones follows that exact same trajectory. A basic cell phone made calls and maybe let you play Snake if you were lucky.
I miss Snake, honestly.
We all do.
Yeah.
But now a smartphone manages your entire existence, right? Your banking, your calendar, your communication, your health data.
Basically your whole life.
Right. And housing has made a parallel evolutionary leap to accommodate how we live right now. The expectations of the physical space have just completely compounded.
It's like living in a house built in 1985 today is a lot like trying to run a brand new graphics-heavy smartphone app on a bulky 15-year-old laptop.
That is a perfect way to put it.
The hardware just physically does not support the software of your life. Like, you are constantly hunting for an outlet because a house designed in the mid-'80s simply wasn't wired for a family of 4 who each have a laptop, a tablet, and a phone to charge simultaneously.
You've got power strips plugged into power strips.
Exactly. It's a huge fire hazard. And you end up trying to retrofit a home office into a formal dining room that was designed for dinner parties nobody actually throws anymore.
Right, it's just dead space.
So beyond just being brand new and having fresh paint, what fundamentally separates a tomorrow's home from a very well-kept, beautifully maintained older house?
What's fascinating here is the concept of architectural intention.
Architectural intention.
Yeah. Today's homes are built from the dirt up with modern lifestyles as the core blueprint. It is an integrated ecosystem.
Okay, an integrated ecosystem.
Right, whereas in an older home, every modern convenience you attempt to add is essentially an afterthought. It's a patch on legacy code.
Oh, that makes sense. Like you're hacking the house.
Exactly. You're constantly fighting the original architecture to force it to do something it was never designed to do. But a tomorrow's home anticipates the way you move through the space, how you consume energy, and how you interact with technology.
It's just baked right in.
It is literally built into the bones. Now, it is important to note here, and the text points this out, that while this structural evolution is widespread across the industry, the specific features available to you will always vary by the builder and the community.
Right, you have to read the fine print.
Always. But the baseline assumption of what a house's job actually is, that has fundamentally changed.
Okay, let's get into the actual anatomy of tomorrow's home, like the built-in apps and hardware upgrades, so to speak.
Let's do it.
When you look at what builders are actually putting in these homes, there is a very specific suite of features.
Very specific, yeah.
We are talking EV-ready garages and electric vehicle charging options. We're available smart thermostats that actually learn your routine and adjust microclimates.
Smart locks, video doorbells.
Right, and seamless smart home integration connecting the entire physical structure directly to your phone.
And those technological features are incredibly appealing, obviously, because they offer immediate, tangible convenience.
Yeah, nobody likes getting up to change the thermostat.
Right. The appeal is totally obvious when you can, say, unlock your front door for a delivery driver while you're sitting at your desk across town. Or when you can adjust the climate of your living room from your bed before you even wake up.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because looking at this list of features, I'm realizing something.
What's that?
We get so distracted by the flashy tech gadgets, but frankly, I could take a trip to the hardware store this afternoon, buy a video doorbell for $50, and screw it onto a 60-year-old house.
You absolutely could.
Right. I can swap out a deadbolt for a smart lock on a door that was hung during the Reagan administration. It takes like 10 minutes.
Yep, very easy DIY.
So to me, the real profound upgrades here aren't the smart locks. It's the unglamorous stuff inside the walls, isn't it?
Ah, yes.
Like the highly energy-efficient windows, the vastly superior modern insulation, the optimized floor plans. To me, that seems like the actual real hardware upgrade.
And that is the exact trap most buyers fall into. They think the superficial tech is the upgrade. But the tech is actually severely handicapped without that unglamorous structural foundation you just mentioned.
Handicapped how?
Well, let's look at the mechanics of it. You cannot fully leverage a smart thermostat if your home has terrible, outdated insulation and drafty single-pane windows.
Oh, because the air just leaks out anyway.
Exactly. In that scenario, a smart thermostat is just a highly accurate sensor showing you exactly how fast your expensive heating and cooling is leaking out into the neighborhood.
That is so depressing when you put it like that.
Right. The smart aspect is completely defeated by the physical dumbness of the thermal envelope.
It's like putting premium racing tires on a rusted-out minivan.
Precisely. It doesn't fix the underlying problem.
Yeah.
Take the EV-ready garages as another example.
Yeah, everybody wants an EV charger now.
They do, but that feature have to be supported by a modern, robust electrical panel and entirely different structural planning.
Wait, can't you just plug it into the wall?
No, not for a fast charge. An older home often has like a 100-amp electrical panel for the whole house.
Okay.
But a modern level 2 electric vehicle charger requires a dedicated 240-volt circuit that can draw 40 to 60 amps all by itself.
Wait, really? Just for the car?
Just for the car.
Yeah.
That is half the capacity of an older home's entire electrical system.
Wow, so if you run the dryer and charge
You blow the main breaker, yeah. You cannot just plug that in. To do it right in an old house, you have to upgrade the whole panel, pull city permits, trench new high-gauge wiring through drywall and concrete.
That sounds horribly expensive.
It is a massive, highly disruptive, and often prohibitively expensive renovation. But in tomorrow's home, the 200 or 250 amp panel and the conduit, it's already there. The intention is pre-built.
It's the Frankensteining of old houses.
Yes, exactly.
You try to fix one thing or add one modern convenience, and you instantly uncover 3 other foundational things that need upgrading just to support your first fix. You just end up chasing your own tail financially.
And that reality is what makes the modern floor plans and, crucially, the builder warranties so critical to this whole evolution.
Honkies.
The ultimate goal of tomorrow's home isn't just to be flashy or futuristic. It is about actively reducing the friction of daily life and mitigating the massive financial surprises of homeownership.
Because old houses are full of surprises, and usually not the fun kind.
Never the fun kind. When you buy an older house, you are inheriting the deferred maintenance of every single previous owner.
Oh man, the questionable DIY project.
Exactly. You're inheriting their bad plumbing hacks, their aging roof, their settling foundation. A comprehensive builder warranty, though, offers a profound psychological safety net.
It lets you sleep at night.
It does. It transfers the risk of those massive financial surprises away from you, the buyer, and places it back onto the builder for those crucial early years of homeownership.
Okay, so structurally, the physical house is clearly superior. It's an integrated system rather than a patched-together Frankenstein monster. But getting your hands on one, like the actual buying process, has to be just as much of a headache, right?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Because buying an older home right now is a complete battlefield. We're shifting here, from the physical product to the psychological process of acquiring it. And anyone who has tried to navigate the resale market lately knows it was just a nightmare.
The contrast in the acquisition process is arguably as significant as the contrast in the architecture itself.
I mean, it's an absolute emotional roller coaster. You walk into an open house, you fall in love, you put in a highly competitive offer, and suddenly you are trapped in a blind bidding war with 12 other desperate people.
Yep, sweeping offers, escalation clauses.
And you are voluntarily waiving your right to an inspection just to look attractive to the seller, which is fundamentally terrifying, by the way.
It is wildly risky.
You are writing these emotional, heartfelt letters to complete strangers. You're offering $50,000 over the asking price, crossing your fingers, and just losing sleep for weeks. It is one of the most stressful, financially chaotic experiences a human being can go through.
It really takes a toll.
So does the new construction path actually solve that specific friction point?
If we connect this to the bigger picture and look closely at the data, the appeal of a new build isn't just the pristine house at the end of the journey.
Okay.
It is a fundamentally more transparent, less hostile acquisition process.
Less hostile. I like that.
The research really highlights the stark contrast between those intense, emotionally volatile bidding wars in the resale market versus new construction communities that utilize what's called builder pricing.
Builder pricing. So how does builder pricing actually work mechanically, compared to that crazy blind auction dynamic?
Sure. In a typical new construction scenario, the builder sets a base price for the model of the home.
Just a flat starting price.
Exactly. Then there are transparent costs for variables like lot premiums.
Wait, what exactly is a lot premium for anyone who hasn't done this?
A lot premium is simply an additional cost for a more desirable piece of land.
Oh, like if you want the corner lot.
Right. Say you want a plot that sits on a quiet cul-de-sac, or one that backs up to a nature preserve instead of a busy street.
Makes sense.
You know exactly what that premium is up front. It's on the price sheet. Then you have your design upgrades. So you select your lot, you choose your structural options, and the math is just laid out in front of you.
So no guessing games.
No guessing games. The price of the home is the price of the home.
So you aren't laying awake at night, sweating bullets, guessing what someone else might be secretly offering in a sealed envelope?
The psychological relief of that transparency is massive.
I can imagine.
When you remove the blind auction dynamic, you stop the emotional hijacking of the buyer. You actually allow the buyer to make rational, calculated financial decisions, rather than panicked, emotionally driven leaps of faith fueled by the fear of missing out.
That FOMO will ruin your budget so fast.
It really will. Now, it is crucial to mention, and the source text is careful to point this out, that pricing practices still vary by market and by the specific builder.
Right, so it's not a universal rule everywhere.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
not an ironclad guarantee in every single development on Earth.
Yep.
But generally speaking, builder pricing introduces deep predictability into a process that is historically chaotic.
Which is all anyone wants when spending that much money.
Right. You are engaging in a standard commercial transaction for a product rather than competing in a high-stakes emotional lottery against other families.
That predictability is huge. But, I mean, let's be real for a second. Even with builder pricing, I look at all these options and I instantly get decision paralysis.
Oh, it's a lot of choices.
It's so many choices. You have to choose the floor plan, understand the lot premiums, navigate the design center, figure out financing, understand the warranty coverage. It's an immense amount of data to process.
It can be overwhelming.
So how is a normal buyer supposed to navigate this modern landscape without just throwing their hands up, getting overwhelmed, and just, guessing?
Well, this is exactly where the analysis introduces a fascinating framework from Coach JB at New Home University.
Ah, Coach JB. So what does this all mean for the buyer on the ground?
The framework outlines his core philosophy, which sounds simple, but is actually a massive paradigm shift.
Okay, what is it?
Education comes before decisions.
Education before
Its
decision.
primary goal is to help buyers completely understand their options, the mechanics of the build, and the financial structures before they ever sign a single contract.
I love this approach. To me, it's kind of like sitting down at a high-stakes poker table, right?
Okay, how so?
Well, you wouldn't push your entire life savings into the middle of the table without knowing if a flush beats a straight.
You'd lose everything.
You have to know the rules of the game. If you go into the real estate market without an education, you're just going to get fleeced by the people who do know the rules. Or, it's like hiring a Sherpa before climbing a mountain. You don't just start walking up a glacier blind.
That poker analogy especially hits the nail on the head. The underlying wisdom of Coach JB's philosophy addresses the very real phenomenon of decision fatigue.
Right, because we just get burned out on making choices.
We live in an era of intense information overload. And when a buyer walks into a beautiful, brand new model home, it is incredibly easy to be swept away by the sensory experience of it all.
Oh, definitely. They play the soft music, they have the cookies baking.
The staging is perfect, the ceilings are high, the lighting is flawless, and that fresh paint smell. It all triggers a deeply emotional response.
You walk in and just go, I want to live here.
Exactly. The emotional brain takes over, and the analytical brain just shuts down. By insisting on prioritizing education over rushed decisions, Coach JB is providing a cognitive framework to combat that emotional hijacking.
It's about slowing the entire process down so you can actually see what's happening.
It forces a pause.
Yeah.
It empowers the buyer to ask the mechanical questions that actually matter.
Like what kind of questions?
Well, things like, what exactly are the limitations of this builder warranty in year 2 versus year 10?
Oh, that's a good one.
Or, how does the smart home integration actually function if the Wi-Fi goes down?
Mm.
What is the demonstrable long-term energy savings of this specific insulation package compared to a 20-year-old resale home down the street?
You really have to dig into the details.
You do, because when you understand the mechanics and the long-term financial implications of these features, you shift from being a passive consumer who's being sold to into an active investor making an informed decision about your future lifestyle.
And that leads us to the final piece of the puzzle here. Now that you, the listener, understand the value of this education-first mindset, how do you actually put that into practice?
Right, theory needs practice.
Because we aren't just left with an abstract philosophy here. There's a very specific, practical toolkit outlined in the source text.
Actionable resources are what separate a good philosophy from a practical strategy, for sure.
So the roadmap points you to visit newhomeuniversity.com. It encourages you to join the New Home University community, download the Smart New Home Buyer's Guide, and schedule a complimentary new home consultation with a new home specialist.
All great tools.
But I want to pause on that last one because it is so incredibly refreshing to see the term complimentary new home consultation.
Yes.
It doesn't say free sales pitch or high-pressure session.
And words matter. If we look at the psychology behind offering a consultation versus a sales pitch, it is a brilliant pivot.
How so?
Well, a traditional sales environment immediately triggers a defensive posture in a buyer.
Oh, for sure. You walk onto a car lot and you instantly tense up.
You fold your arms, you guard your wallet, and you view the salesperson as an adversary. You're waiting to be tricked. But an educational consultation changes the entire geometry of the interaction.
Oh.
It puts the buyer and the specialist on the same side of the table, looking at the problem together.
I really like that visual. Same side of the table.
It lowers the buyer's defenses because it actually honors their time and their intellect.
It treats you like a student of the market, not just a walking checkbook.
Exactly. These resources are explicitly designed to give the buyer agency. Look at the overarching mantra that drives this whole approach. Learn smart. Buy smart. Move forward with confidence.
Learn smart, buy smart, move forward with confidence.
That isn't just a clever marketing slogan. It is a sequential, causal roadmap.
Wait, causal, like one leads to the other.
Right. Confidence in real estate isn't a personality trait you magically conjure up to survive a bidding war. Confidence is simply the natural, inevitable byproduct of the education and the informed choices we've been dissecting throughout this entire deep dive.
Because you actually know what you're doing.
Yes. When you mechanically understand how energy efficiency saves you money, when you grasp the risk transfer value of a builder warranty, and when you can confidently navigate transparent builder pricing without the cortisol spike of a blind auction, moving forward with confidence is the only logical outcome.
So, to bring this all together, we have looked at a massive structural shift in how we think about the physical spaces we inhabit.
A total paradigm shift.
We are leaving behind the wildly stressful bidding wars, the hidden DIY disasters, and the constant maintenance anxiety of yesterday's homes. And instead, we are stepping into the fully integrated, energy efficient, and warranty backed ecosystem of tomorrow's homes.
Stepping into the future.
And the key is that we are doing it not by rushing blindly into the market on pure emotion, but by adopting a rigorous education-first approach. We are finally treating the purchase of our homes with the same strategic, tech-savvy mindset we use to navigate the rest of our modern lives.
It really is a total redefinition of what a house's job description is. But, understanding this evolution does raise one final, highly provocative thought for you to mull over.
Oh, what's that?
Well, if our homes are rapidly evolving to be exactly like our smartphones, if they are fully integrated, constantly connected to our personal devices, learning our daily climate preferences, tracking exactly when we lock and unlock our doors, and optimizing our energy use based on our intimate living habits.
Basically monitoring everything we do.
Right. How will our fundamental definition of privacy need to evolve in the coming years?
Oh, wow.
Because we are no longer just holding a device in our hands. We are sleeping, eating, and raising our families inside our biggest piece of technology. Figuring out how we navigate that boundary might just be the next great challenge of tomorrow's home.
Wow. Living inside the device, that is a completely different lens to look through, and definitely something to chew on the next time your house automatically turns off the lights when you leave a room. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you walk away feeling a little more informed, a lot more empowered, and ready to navigate whatever comes next in your own housing journey. Catch you next time.